Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first round meetup of 2020. Woo! Alright, so hindi lang pala ako excited. So if you're a anybody who's a first timer here, alright, first time. I see a lot of people today, actually, compared to the past meetups. It's nice to see everybody, and thank you for carving out some hours for your time for today to just come here. I know, Manila traffic is horrendous, so glad you come here and spend some time with us. So before I introduce our first speaker and activity, I would just like to thank our sponsor for tonight, Expanse Technologies. Instead of me introducing what I think they are, I just let the representative do the talking. So we have here their CTO, David Marquez, who will explain what Expanse is all about. So,
hey guys, welcome to the first of the year, first Ruby meetup of the year. And like Mark said, this is Expanse. It's our sort of new office. And what we do is actually we help businesses do their e-commerce. And then once we set up their websites, so we set up public websites for them. And at the same time, we connect them to an automated shipping platform. So this is what we do when someone buys online, and we take care of the fulfillment side for these brands as well. So that's, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what we do. Like, we do these for brands like Lacoste, Payless, and etc. And so business is doing great. And yeah, at the same time, it happens that we're using Rails as well for this. And that's it. That's all I have to say. Enjoy it. Spend the night and enjoy the speakers tonight as well.
Thank you, Adrian, for David, for that introduction. So for our first speaker, you've probably seen him before if you've been to the meetups. He's Peterson. He's currently the software engineer, the DevOps engineer, and our Ruby on Rails developer in Challenge. If you has anybody seen here a Tekken tournament or maybe a Dota tournament in YouTube or Twitch, and you probably wondered how these esports organizations organize their tournaments. So Challenge is a tournament management platform. So I will explain it further, right? That's the only thing I know about it. So and let Adrian explain further and doing stuff. That's what we get.
Right. Let's start this up. Okay, so Challenge is basically, it's a tournament bracket platform. So basically we make tournament brackets easier for you than we do it for tournament organizers. So think of any competition you want to do, it's make a bracket and have fun. So a bit of a background on Challenge. So it's a 10-year-old app. So it started in it's about 11 years actually. So it started in 2009 with our founder, David. And he kind of took it on as a solo project. Then when he got acquired by Split Media Labs, that's the time that I came in and the other guys in my company came in as well. So my talk today is basically how we actually improved our process. Basically our deploy test review process. So if you're me, we Rails developers do test-driven development, but of course we still have QAs. We have people who actually want to test our features before we deploy them into production. So basically this is kind of the talk for you, and let's get started. So and again, I'm Adrian Peterson. I'm software engineering lead and DevOps engineer, then also an HR manager and office manager. So basically anything that Challenge needs, I'm there. Okay.
You're the glue that holds them together.
Yeah. And so yeah, you can find me at AusBC on Twitter, Adrian Peterson at Instagram. I also mix drinks. Please hire us. Okay, yeah. So back in 2008, so it was just two of us, David and me, and we had this feature. We had this deployment flow that we build a feature in the feature branch, test it in development, merge it in staging, deploy it in Linode, then deploy it to master. It's good for us. So basically this process has been going on in 2018, but this is where it started. We started hiring a lot of people. We started hiring designers, QAs, and front-end back-end devs from my previous company, Crowdcloud. And yeah, we encountered this problem that we've been building a lot of features and bug fixes, but we can't test immediately into the staging servers because we only have one staging server, which is hosted on Linode. And another context of the problem, a problem to this situation is we didn't use Docker at that time. So we kept on deploying this to Capistrano, and so yeah, we had a bottleneck in terms of our development work. So yeah, this is what happened to me. So yeah, I kind of huddled the team together and discussed them what we can do about this. And so the first option was, yeah, why not just spawn a new instance in Linode for the staging server and just switch the IP addresses via Capistrano and just flip it out. And yeah, it's the easiest solution, but for me, it wasn't the right step on the right direction that I wanted to, which is containerization, which is the easiest. Looking back, it's the easiest way to do it now. And again, it's a brute force solution. Next is copy to production cluster in GCE. Okay, so a bit of a background. So when we got acquired by Swiftria Labs, there was an existing team of DevOps engineers already in Swiftria Labs, and they were eager to push us to Google Cloud Enterprise, which is great. I'll be honest, it was great. So they point us to the right direction, and they were basically handling the DevOps for us. The only problem is because they're on a separate team, they're not fully dedicated to us, and I don't know, there's something happened to our setup that sometimes we get some crashes, and our expenses for every month for GCE is like 1,500 USD, which is really good. I think one of the major reasons was our data transfer outside of the Google network. And so for us, like copying the production cluster to a staging cluster wouldn't be a good idea because it would be expensive to us. And we're technically a startup that doesn't earn that much. We only earn, our business model is to subscriptions and ads. So it's not a good thing for us. We're technically losing money. So this one is no go for me as well, because number one, also the other reason is our proficiency in Kubernetes is not that great. Next. Okay, and this third option, which I'm very proud of actually. So why not spawn a single node, use Docker Swarm, and let them handle, so basically handle all of the staging instances into one node. So it's the best of both worlds. So it's somewhat like Linode. So you have one box, you use Docker Swarm in it, do the Docker stacks, and basically that's it. And yeah, and we can do the research and the DevOps as well. So I went with this one. Okay, so before I continue, anybody familiar with Docker? Okay, so this is what our Docker stack looks like. So we have one Rails instance, one Sidekick, Postgres, Redis. The build messenger basically just tells you that, hey, the deployment's okay, and the migration job, basically it's just to run Rails DB migration. Okay, and here were some of my challenges while doing this. Docker management via CLI is kind of tricky because you'll be typing Docker service, Docker stack, and a lot of that shit over CLI. It was really frustrating sometimes. Also, how do I do automatic deployment using webhooks? Also, our app actually supports subdomains. So when David and I discussed about this, like, hey, he wanted to support it. Like, I want to have, let's say, the name of the feature branch. Let's say it's the new feature that we're trying to build, which is the free-for-all, feature branch. So it's going to be called ffa.challenge.online. Then it should support the subdomaining of, like, for the organizations. Then, yeah, also I have to, another problem that we have is the reverse proxy for the multiple Rails instances, and of course, memory usage in the node. Okay, so this is how I solved them one by one. Okay, for the Docker management via CLI, I use Pertainer. It's an open source, it's just an open source project. Basically, it lets you handle anything in the Docker environment in a UI. Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it works. It gives me a fresh breath of air when I look at it. So basically, you can see all the containers. You can deploy stacks. You can remove the volumes. You can remove images. You can do basically anything in Docker with a UI, which is great. Okay. The automated deployment by webhooks. This is kind of what happened when we just merged our services together. So Circle CI is being used. It's used for building our tests. Basically, our spec, our feature tests, and Robocop, npm tests as well. Then when I thought of it, why not just let Circle CI build the image as well and push it to Docker Hub? And yeah, basically this is what happened. So Circle CI builds the image, pushes to Docker Hub, then Docker Hub then makes a webhook. But the only problem is the webhook doesn't really say which image is being pushed. It's just gonna say that, hey, I got an image and I don't know which one I'm gonna update. So I built just an Elixir app because I was still into Elixir at this time, like a basic front app that just forwards the requests to the specific Docker stack. And yeah, the updates. So yeah, this is that's the what do you call it? The Elixir app that I built. Okay, and yeah. So basically for the longer subdomains, it's just a single line in Rails. So basically add this to your environment, to your staging environment, production environment, and it will treat the two TLDs as one. So it works. Okay, and here's the hardest part. So think of this as, so I have three, for example, I have three Docker instances, Docker stacks that are running, each one with different feature branches. So let's say the first Docker Rails stack is running our master branch, the next one is running our hotfix, the next one is running our another feature branch. And the thing is, we need to have an ingress for all of these on the port 80 and port 443. So what I did, so to give you a heads up for Docker stacks, they actually build on their own network. So what you need to do is basically just tell them, hey, I have a custom network for you, which basically that's what I did. Yeah, so I built a custom network for each of the stacks and tell them that, hey, you can only roll on this 4 IP addresses. So my Nginx settings looks like this. So yeah, it's just like so it's hard coded, and it's something that I'm not proud of, but it works. Okay, so memory usage. So current, I took the screenshot like yesterday, and so right now I'm running 5 instances of our feature branches. Memory usage of the server of the node itself. So it's a 4-core, 8 gigabyte, and 160 gigabyte server. And so yeah, memory usage, I think you just have to really minimize. I'm not sure if you're using Puma or Unicorn. So for this instance, we're still using Unicorn, and I just told the server that hey, just use one Unicorn at a time, and Sidekick we have a gem that we installed, like the memory limit Sidekick. Basically, it kills the Sidekick instance and restarts it again when it reaches a certain limit. So yeah, so right now, that's it. Okay, shortcomings. So the shortcomings on this setup is Rails is serving the assets statically, not Nginx. So usually what you do is you let Nginx handle all the assets for you. In this case, I didn't want to bother and to copy every time the assets when I do the bundle. When I do the prefab file. And also, based on my experience, there were some times that I had to delete the Docker volume, which gives me a lot of headaches. So just for the sake of simplicity, I'll just let Rails handle the assets. Okay, it's a single node problem. So if the server goes down, the whole thing goes down. And yeah, our current Rails Docker image is 2 gigabytes. It's kind of big. I'm not sure with you guys in your experience, like how big is your Docker images, but in our case it's 2 gigabytes because of the gems, the legacy stuff that we still install. Okay, so this started in 2018, so it's been a year already. Yeah, testing reviews and developments have been quicker for us, and yeah, we'll be spending like $40 a month for 5 to 7 Rails instances on our staging servers for our staging environment. And yeah, QA is happy, I'm happy, and developers are happy, everybody's happy. So yeah, think of it as from $500, approximately $500, I was able to bring it out $40 per month. And I think this setup could work for you guys as well. If you have like multiple feature branches being pushed out, it kind of makes sense to actually do this. Then, okay, also I forgot to add this in. After we did this, so our GCE bill was $1,500. So our CTO David was really happy with the staging server. We decided to actually move out of GCE and actually use UpCloud as our server provider, and I was able to bring it down from 1,500 USD to 800. No, 800. Yeah, 800 USD. Using somewhat the same technology that we did here. So cheaper than first. Right. Any questions?
What Ruby version are you using?
Okay, Ruby version right now. Okay, we just merged the PR. It's 2.5.7. Rails, we're still at 4.2.11. They haven't merged my Rails 5 branch yet. So yeah. So yeah, it's an 11-year-old app. So what do you think? We still have we don't have strong parameters in everything. We still use Ather accessor. What else? We don't use device. We use logic. I'm not sure if you're familiar with logic. What else? Yeah,
You're old.
it's an old app. It's an old app, but
It's working.
it's working. Yeah, and we get like a lot of traffic, and a lot of people have been using it. So the thing is, at this point in time, like, should we switch the device? Like, I don't think so. It's working.
Have you tried using a reverse, caching in the Nginx the assets so that it won't hit the backend when it's...
I tried doing that. The problem is it's really just copying the assets from when you pre-compile the image. I have to copy the assets to the Nginx container
No, just there's a setting proxy cache, I think.
No, I do that, but the thing
Okay.
is, so when you deploy another image, it doesn't automatically copy.
Oh,
the
okay.
image.
So it's going to be a fresh Nginx.
Yeah, so it's either I declare another volume for it, which is kind of a hassle, or I actually build another thing. But again, it's just a staging instance, so I don't really care if we hit the assets all the time.
So in production, you're
In production, and we deploy the assets to S3.
okay.
So it's a different setup. So.
It seems that you are concerned with the resources of your computers running on the cloud. So how do you monitor it?
For production, we use Grafana. I can show you.
Kibana.
This is what I use. That's the way. What's that name? Yeah, Grafana. Yeah, basically, yeah, that's our cluster servers right now running. For staging, we don't really track it anymore because if it dies, it dies. Just restart it again.
I just restart the server.
Yeah, just restart the server. Like if a node dies, like for example, the master branch, like the QA gets that server already, you'll just restart it or her just update it.
You don't use any replications that once that it dies, it automatically install.
For staging.
Yeah.
Okay, because $stack, $swarm actually does that already. On failure, you can actually check. If it fails, it has to restart. Then it tries 3 times, like on my setting, it tries 3 times before it gives up. So you can do that, but the thing is, if it fails, then it fails to restart, then there's something going on. You might need to just restart the whole thing again. Sorry.
Which service was it that you get the site service for $40 a month?
I use Upcloud. This one.
Upcloud.
Yeah. It's kind of it's the same thing as DigitalOcean. So I think the decision came from so we were choosing from Linode. Okay, so definitely we don't want AWS. I don't know why, because my boss doesn't like AWS. GCE stepped me out and doing it GCE. So it was down to DigitalOcean. Oh wait, I know the reason why. Because of the transfer rate. Because when we get our bill from GCE, it's like $1,000 just because of the egress that we send out to the Google Cloud Network. Because number one, we use a lot of API requests outside of our servers. We send a lot of metrics. And we send a lot of new garden things, I guess. And it's just really huge. It's not really a good thing for us. So we went with these kind of services, like DigitalOcean, which actually offers like a terabyte. Well, like the current setup right now, it's 5 terabytes per month for the transfer. So it's really good for us. We don't even use that. Yes, Nico.
How big is your bandwidth monthly so far?
For
Your monthly bandwidth.
for
Average.
oh wait, that's true.
If you're not hitting the 5K bandwidth,
Okay, so I haven't measured it properly, but it's like 1.2 kilobytes per. So it's really small.
so maybe 40% over it.
Yeah.
So you're running about 4 services.
Which one? This one? Okay, so for our production instance, we're running 7 app instances. Sorry, for services, it's 1, 2, 7 actually. So that's
instances of
no for instances. Like for the nodes, we have 11 nodes that are dedicated for servicing the app. Then among other stuff like our experimental stuff, we have a feature that we just put in there and then see how it goes. So it's 11 nodes. If it goes down, if one goes down, we'll be alerted that hey, one goes down.
average of CPU and memory.
Yeah, it's here. 25%, man. It's 25%. Memory is the one that takes a lot of our resources because we actually say that For one Rails application, just take 7, like you assign and reserve 7 gigabytes already for that app. Now, Amigo.
Is the Nginx layer also containers?
Yes, it is. That does.
Did you try to illustrate
Yeah.
move up from single node setup?
Do you know what it is?
Have you tried doing multiple nodes already?
What?
Multiple nodes have been done multiple nodes already.
For production or certain staging?
For production.
Yeah, we tried. We load tested this. I think what we did is we copied like an hour of requests that we normally get from the server, and we just send it to here, to this one, and just like duplicate it and see how it goes. And yeah, I was able to stand it, and yeah, works. Okay, that's fine. So if you're interested on how a deep dive on, or actually if I can help you guys to actually do this in your office, just let me know. You can email me, adrian@challenge.com, or you can hire me. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks to
Sure.
Where
Oh, funny, you got an surgery.
Right. So one last question. When does challenge spike?
Saturdays.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Vitamins.
yeah, when usually Saturdays and Sundays weekends. But we have to see that. So the biggest traffic that we got was with Evo Japan. So where AK, the second 7, yeah, where AK pop. Yeah, we got the huge spike on that, so we had to replicate our instances up to 20 to just handle it.
All right.